Well, one of my very favorite workshops is coming up in January, and that is my Together in Texas Marriage Education Workshop. I love teaching this because couples come because they want to be there, but also it's a great money-saving tool for them because the workshop itself is free, but when they go to apply for a marriage license, I present them with a certificate that will save them $60 when they apply for a marriage license. Anyway, that workshop is coming up on Saturday, January 24th, and we'll get started about 8:30. I'll have a pot of coffee and some refreshments available for everybody, and we will take a break for lunch and then finish up shortly after lunch. But there are 4 components that I teach during this workshop, and there are other providers here in the county. But I think I'm probably the one that teaches it on a regular basis, and because I do enjoy teaching it. But we talk about marriage expectations. What does each person bring into the relationship? Things that they might have an unspoken expectation, and so we get them to talk about their expectations. Communication is the second component, which is huge, because usually it's the lack of communication or poor communication that can cause conflict in a marriage. So we talk about communication, the different types of communication styles, not saying that one is better than the other, but they're just different, and men and women tend to communicate differently. And so we talk about that. The third component is conflict resolution, which kind of ties in with communication, but we talk about how you don't accuse the other, but you talk through the situation until you come up with the solution. So that's a very much a really good session. We talk about money management, which is also oftentimes a source of conflict in a relationship. We do a little thing called the bean game that helps them prioritize their spending and maybe talk about those expenses that they don't necessarily think about, but that they're a monthly or a weekly expense. And so we talk about money management. Where does your money go? How do you set up a budget? And then finally, we talk about goals and dreams. What do you want your marriage to look like 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 35 or 40 years down the road? So it's a really good, fun workshop. Right now, I have 2 couples registered, and we'd love to have more than that, which I feel like we will have more couples. But it's a fun workshop, and it's not just me up there talking the whole time. It's a lot of group activity. So anyway, that's scheduled for January 24th here at the Extension office. We'll start at 8:30, and couples that are interested do need to call my office to sign up because I give them a little workbook that we kind of go through. And also I want to be sure to have enough refreshments for everyone. So they can just call my office at 903-885-3443. And then the following Saturday, we're having a sewing workshop. And originally I had scheduled this to be for 4-H kids, but I've had some people that have requested a sewing workshop for the public. And so we're going to open this up to anybody that's interested, and that will be on Saturday the 31st. We're going to start about 10 o'clock. And here again, I do need them to call my office because I do have a list of supplies that they will need to bring with them that day. If they have a sewing machine that they want to learn how to use, then they're encouraged to bring it. If they don't have their own sewing machine, I have about 6 or 7 here at the office that we can use. But we're going to work on a quilt block, actually, which is just straight basic sewing and cutting, so they'll learn cutting and sewing. If we have time, we'll get into reading a pattern envelope and all that stuff. But anyway, that will be on Saturday, January 31st here at the Extension office. And then one more really important thing that I'm hoping to get a good amount of interest on this is the Master Wellness Volunteer volunteer program. Extension has Master Gardeners, which most people are familiar with, but we also have the Master Wellness volunteer program. This is for anybody that is interested in serving as a volunteer. They would work alongside me at health fairs and programs, but it's addressing health and wellness issues, nutrition and childhood nutrition and food safety and things like that. I do have a 5-week series scheduled starting in February, and it will be every Tuesday in February from about 9 to 3 or so, and then the first Tuesday in March. Now, there is a fee for this because everybody receives a notebook with all the materials in it, and so I am charging $40 for the workshop, and it is 5 days, and so it would take a pretty good amount of their time. I know in the past we've had some professionals in the health field and others who have been released from their job for that day. They've been approved to come and attend the workshop, and so if they work outside the home and they're really interested, they might talk to their supervisor and see if maybe the company would pay their fee, because they in turn could turn around and use what they learn by teaching worksite wellness programs. But anyway, they don't have to have any background in health and wellness, but they just have to have an interest in learning more about it and being a volunteer. And I've had a couple of people that have expressed interest. I do have an application form that they do need to fill out and return to me, just so that I'll have it in writing with their name, address, and phone number, so that I can send them the letter as a reminder when we get started. But again, that's February 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th, and then March 3rd. And here again, that will be here at the Extension office. We're a good central location. So we hope that we'll get some good Master Wellness volunteers. I had 10 at one time. 2 of them moved away, and one of them, her health prohibited her from participating. And so I currently have 7 trained wellness volunteers, and I'd like to have that many more. So we're hoping to get another good group of trainees in this year. And they don't have to go out and teach a workshop. I know I've had people say, "Oh, I can't get up in front of a group and talk." That's okay. You don't have to. This training will give them information if they want to help me man a booth at a health fair, or if they want to help me with a 4-H foods project, or if they want to help do my newsletter. I'd love to turn the newsletter over to some volunteers. So there are a lot of different things, data entry on the computer. So there are a lot of different ways that these volunteers can be used. So that's coming up in February.
Any questions at all, just give you a call here at the office. I know the hours this time of year is kind of an unusual time of year to try to catch somebody in, but
yeah, probably after the first of the year. Of course, we'll be in and out this week, but after the first of the year, we're normally open from 8 to 5. Of course, some days we're short-staffed, and so we do, if they miss us the first time, we do ask that they call again or leave a message. The number is 903-885-3443. The applications for the Master Wellness Volunteer Program are actually here at our office. They can come in and pick one up, or if they can't make it to town, we can email it or mail it to them. But other than that, we're here at the office 5 days a week, except for major holidays. And, we'd like to visit with some of these people. And so, the sewing workshop, the marriage education workshop, and the Master Wellness training, all 3 are coming up really soon. And so those are open to anybody who's interested.